The morning heat had barely settled over the quiet barangay of San Felipe when a strange silence fell over the school courtyard. Students froze mid-step, whispers cut through the air, and even the stray dog sleeping by the gate lifted its head, because walking through the rusted blue school gate was him, a tall, pale-skinned Korean teenager with a backpack that looked too clean for a Filipino public school, and eyes filled with something between fear and curiosity. His name was Min Jun, and this was the day he never expected. He had prepared himself for heat, noise, even culture shock. But nothing, absolutely nothing, prepared him for what would happen inside that classroom. A group of boys near the flagpole exchanged glances. "Uy, bagong student? Foreigner ata, bro?" A girl filming a TikTok paused mid-dance, slowly lowering her phone as she stared. Somewhere at the back, a teacher tightened her grip on the attendance sheet. She knew this day might not go smoothly. And Min Jun, he felt every pair of eyes land on him like weight on his shoulders. But the real shock wouldn't come from the stares, or the language barrier, or even the unpredictable chaos of Filipino public school life. The real shock would come from something deeper, something no one, neither Min Jun nor his new classmates, saw coming. A moment that would change how he viewed the Philippines and how the school viewed him. This is the story of what happened on a Korean teen's first day in a Filipino public school, and why he will never forget it. The story begins long before Min Jun walked through those gates. He was born in Daegu, South Korea, a city buzzing with neon signs and endless rush. His mother was a nurse, strict but gentle. His father worked in logistics, quiet and traditional. Growing up, Min Jun was taught one thing: study hard and stay out of trouble. He obeyed most of the time, but everything changed after his parents separated. A sudden fracture that left his mother emotionally drained and left Min Jun drifting like a leaf with no direction. When his mother accepted a nursing job in the Philippines, she saw it as a fresh start, a chance to breathe again. For Min Jun, it felt like exile. He imagined the Philippines the way dramas and shows exaggerated it: tropical beaches, colorful jeepneys, friendly people. But his first impression was nothing like a travel brochure. He landed in Manila to a wall of heat that slapped him in the face, the sounds of honking jeepneys, and streets more chaotic than any Korean alley during festival season. His mother rented a small apartment near a public school because private schools were far too expensive. "Just 1 year," she told him. 1 year para makapag-ipon ako, you'll adjust. But how do you adjust to a life where nothing feels familiar, where you cannot read the signs, cannot understand the jokes, cannot predict the noise? The school, San Felipe National High, was old and tired. Cracked walls, faded paint, students spilling out of classrooms that were too small for the number of bodies inside. But inside these walls lived a kind of energy, raw, noisy, alive. Filipino schools, especially public ones, had their own heartbeat. Morning chatter spilling into hallways. Teachers juggling 40 to 50 students per class. A mix of laughter, teasing, small fights, friendships formed over cheap snacks, and dreams whispered during recess. This was where Min Jun's mother hoped he would learn resilience, where she hoped he would heal. But when he looked at the building for the first time, he whispered under his breath, "This is going to be hell." He didn't know it yet, but he was partly right and partly wrong, because hell wasn't what he walked into. It was something more complicated and far more human. The bell rang, loud and metallic, echoing across the campus. Students spilled into hallways like a sudden flood. "Class 9B?" Min Jun asked an older student. The boy looked at him startled. "Ah, dito, this way. Sundan mo ako." He followed, clutching his bag tightly, trying not to make eye contact with anyone. As he stepped into the classroom, all chatter died. Silence. 45 Filipino students stared at him as if an alien had just landed in their room. A girl at the back whispered loudly, "Grabe, parang K-drama na to." One boy snickered, "Korean daw, baka snobbish." Another joked, "Baka walang alam sa English yan." They weren't being cruel, just curious. But to Min Jun, every whisper felt like judgment. The teacher, Ms. Ramos, cleared her throat. Class, we have a new student. Please welcome, she checked her paper, Kim Min-jun. Dead silence again. Would you like to introduce yourself? She asked gently. He swallowed hard. I'm Min-jun. I come from Korea. Nice to meet you. It was simple, safe. But the class erupted with giggles anyway. Cute accent. Say it again. Annyeong oppa. A girl clasped her hands dramatically like she was meeting a K-pop idol. His face turned red. Ms. Ramos sighed. Okay, class, that's enough. He was seated beside a boy named Paolo, a wiry, energetic kid who wore worn-out rubber shoes and smelled faintly of chalk and street food. Hi, bro. Ako si Paolo, he whispered. Don't mind them, huh? They're just excited. Min-jun nodded, though his chest felt tight. Minutes later, the real chaos began. The teacher stepped out to photocopy materials, leaving the class unsupervised. And instantly, students shouted across the room. Some danced, some sang. One group debated basketball loudly. Another started a card game under the desk. Min-jun froze. In Korea, silence ruled the classroom like a strict god. Here it was a wild festival of noise. A group of boys walked toward him. Hey, Korean boy, ano pangalan mo ulit? Kimchi? Sabihin mo kimchi? Teach us Korean words naman. Their tone was playful, but overwhelming. He tried to smile, tried to be polite. But then, one boy reached out and tugged his hair lightly. Wow, ang lambot Korean hair, everyone laughed. And something inside Min-jun snapped for a moment. Not anger, but embarrassment so deep he felt his throat tighten. Paolo noticed. Hoy, wag niyo nga guluhin. Nakakahiya kayo. The boys backed off, smirking. And for the first time, Min-jun wondered, was coming here a mistake? But the day wasn't done with him yet, because the real conflict, the one that would change everything, was waiting just hours away. By lunchtime, the heat was merciless. Students poured out of classrooms toward the canteen and nearby sari-sari stores. Paolo insisted Min-jun join their group. Come, bro. I'll show you the best lumpiang tog in the world. But as they walked, a group of bigger boys from grade 10 blocked their path. Their leader, Rojal, smirked at the sight of the Korean teen. Ay, siya pala yung bago, he said. Mukhang mayaman. Paolo tensed. Wag na Rojal, first day niya. Rojal ignored him. Hey, Korean. You understand me? Min-jun nodded slowly. Rojal stepped closer. Too close. Handsome kaha, must be nice. New shoes, new bag. He grabbed Min-jun's arm lightly, pretending to admire the watch. Paolo stepped forward. Wala kang ang gagawin kay... But Rojal shoved him aside. Relax, I just want to know. Mayabang ka ba? The air around them grew thick. Students nearby stopped to watch. Tension crawled through the crowd like electricity. Min-jun felt his heartbeat pounding in his ears. He wasn't used to confrontation. In Korea, he avoided everything like this. But here, he was cornered. Rojal leaned in, voice low. You think you're better than us, huh? Ganyan tingin mo sa Filipino school? Min-jun's lips trembled. No, I don't think... Before he could finish, one of Rojal's friends snatched his lunchbox. It fell, it opened, and kimchi spilled across the concrete in a red mess. The crowd gasped. Rojal laughed. Ay, sorry, di ko sinasadya. Something inside Min-jun shattered. Not rage, not pride. Pain. This lunchbox was the one thing his mother insisted he bring. Para may lasa ka pa rin Korea kahit malayo tayo, she had said. Seeing it ruined felt like watching the last piece of home disappear. His eyes burned, but he refused to cry. Students stared at him, waiting for him to burst, waiting for drama. But then, a small voice cut through the tension. Tumigil kayo. It was Leah, the quiet girl from the back of the class. The girl who rarely talked. The girl everyone underestimated. She stepped forward, eyes sharp and steady. Wala siyang ginagawang masama, she said. Bakit niyo siya inaaway? Rojal rolled his eyes. Nakikisawsaw ka pa. But Leah wasn't backing down. Makibagay kayo, she said. Hindi lahat ng bago inaasar. Her voice wasn't loud, but it was firm, and students around her nodded. Then Paolo moved beside her. Then 2 more classmates, then 4, then 7. One by one, the students of 9B formed a loose circle around Min-jun, not attacking, not fighting, but silently protecting him. Rojal scoffed. Fine. Enjoy your Korean prince, he walked away. The moment he left, Leah bent down and picked up the spilled lunchbox carefully. Others joined, gathering the pieces, cleaning the mess, gently helping in whatever small way they could. Paolo placed a hand on Minjun's shoulder. Bro, sorry, huh? Some people are just rude. But not everyone's like that. Minjun stood there frozen, overwhelmed, not by fear, but by something warm. Unexpected human, he whispered, voice breaking lightly. Thank you. And in that moment, everything changed. Not because the bullying stopped, but because Minjun realized something he never expected. He wasn't alone. That afternoon, the classroom felt different. Students who earlier giggled now smiled genuinely at him. Girls who teased him now asked friendly questions. Boys who mocked him now offered fist bumps. It wasn't perfect, not yet, but walls had begun to fall. During art period, Leah slid a small note onto his desk. If you need help adjusting, we can help you. Filipinos are noisy, but kind. He smiled for the first time that day. Paolo taught him Filipino slang. Tara bro, sabihin mo ayos lang, meaning it's okay. Ah, ayos. Lang. Laughter erupted as he mispronounced it, but it wasn't mocking. It was joyful. Later, 3 girls taught him the proper way to buy snacks at the canteen. No, don't line up like that. Dito ka dumaan. Mas mabilis. Someone handed him a pack of skyflakes. Someone else offered iced candy. Another shared adobo flakes from home. Piece by piece, a new world opened. After dismissal, the students walked with him toward the gate. Balik ka bukas ha? Huwag kang matakot sa mga bully. Kasama ka na sa 9B. We got you. He didn't understand every word, but he understood the feeling. Warmth, acceptance, belonging. When he reached home and his mother asked, "How was your first day?" He paused. Then slowly, he smiled. "It was different," he said, "but I think I'll be okay." And for the first time in months, his mother saw light returning to his eyes. Sometimes the things we fear the most lead us to the people who change us the most. Minjun came to the Philippines with broken expectations and a broken family. He entered a school that was loud, chaotic, imperfect. But the warmth he found, the courage of one girl, the loyalty of one friend, the kindness of one classroom, became the very thing that helped him heal. He learned that Filipino schools were more than cracked walls and crowded rooms. They were alive, they were home. They carried a culture of resilience, created from struggle, hospitality carved from generations, laughter shaped by storms and survival. And though that first day had tested him, it also gave him something priceless, a sense of belonging. In every Filipino school, there will always be noise, chaos, and uncertainty. But there will also always be someone willing to stand up for you, someone willing to say, "Kasama ka namin." And sometimes that is all a person needs to start again. If you wish to walk with me through more stories like this, stories that hold pieces of who we are, you're welcome to stay in this growing community. So stay close, kapatid, because the next story might be the one your heart has been waiting for.